There comes a moment in every person's life when they begin to question their worth. They look around, they compare, and they begin to shrink, quietly convincing themselves that they are less, that others are stronger, smarter, or more deserving. But that belief is a lie, one that kills potential before it ever breathes. You are not weak. You are not less. You are different, and that difference is your greatest strength. Weakness doesn't begin in the body. It begins in the mind, in the moment you surrender the authorship of your identity to the world's opinion. Society loves conformity because it's predictable, manageable, and safe, but greatness never grows where imitation thrives. Every powerful person who ever changed the world first accepted one terrifying truth. They were not like everyone else. They didn't fit, they didn't blend, and that's exactly why they mattered. Your pain, your struggle, your confusion, they are not signs of inadequacy. They are the tools of transformation. Life shapes you through resistance. It tests your resolve so you can realize what's inside you. You're not being punished when life gets hard. You're being forged. The cracks in your confidence are not the end of you. They are the beginning of your becoming. To see yourself as weak is to betray the part of you that still believes, that still fights, that still wants to become something more. You must stop treating your individuality as a flaw. It's your signature, your fingerprint on existence. No one has your mind, your heart, your history, your potential. So why live as if you were meant to copy someone else's design? Strength is not loud, and confidence is not arrogance. True strength is quiet self-respect, the calm understanding that your worth is not negotiable. The world doesn't need another imitation. It needs the real you, the version that accepts difference as destiny, not defect. So, stand up, speak truth, carry yourself as someone who has chosen to be different. Because you are not weak, you are built to stand apart. Every human being is born with a design that cannot be replicated, a constellation of thoughts, emotions, talents, and scars that belong only to them. Yet most people spend their lives trying to fit into a mold created by others, trading authenticity for approval. They forget that the very essence of strength lies not in blending in, but in standing apart. Uniqueness is not an obstacle to overcome, it is the foundation of inner power. When you deny your individuality, you silence the voice that carries your potential. True strength begins the moment you stop asking, "How do I become like them?" and start asking, "How can I become more of myself?" The greatest tragedy of human potential is imitation. People look at those who have achieved greatness and assume strength comes from copying their actions, their tone, their style, but strength is not inherited through mimicry. It's discovered through alignment with one's inner truth. Your uniqueness is not an accident of biology or circumstance. It's a deliberate composition of experiences, struggles, and dreams designed to shape your destiny. Every strength that has ever changed the world came from someone who refused to follow the crowd. Someone who trusted that their difference was not a weakness but a weapon. To understand the power of uniqueness, one must first confront the fear of isolation. The world rewards conformity because it fears individuality. Unique people are unpredictable, and unpredictability challenges control. But the paradox is that the moment you stop conforming, you begin to attract genuine respect. People sense authenticity like fire. It burns quietly but powerfully. It cannot be imitated, and it commands attention without demanding it. When you live in alignment with your truth, your presence becomes magnetic, not because it seeks validation, but because it radiates self-certainty. Uniqueness also carries responsibility. To be unique means to walk a path that no one else has walked, and that requires courage. It means embracing your own ideas even when they're misunderstood, standing by your principles when they're unpopular, and trusting your instincts when others doubt them. This path will isolate you at times, but isolation is not emptiness. It is the soil where originality grows. The strongest individuals are not those who never felt alone. They are those who used solitude as a forge to shape identity and vision. In the end, individual strength is not measured by comparison, but by authenticity. It's the ability to stand firm in who you are, even when the world tries to convince you otherwise. When you embrace your uniqueness fully, you become immune to the illusion of weakness. You realize that your differences are not limitations but signatures of purpose. Strength is not found in imitation, but in self-realization, in living as the truest expression of who you were meant to be. The day you stop hiding your uniqueness is the day you stop being fragile, because nothing is stronger than a person who has finally decided to be themselves. Comparison is a silent poison that corrodes self-worth from within. It begins innocently. You look at someone else's success, their beauty, their achievements, and you start measuring your own value against theirs. But slowly that measurement becomes a chain. You start seeing yourself not as who you are, but as who you are not. The mind, once focused on growth, becomes trapped in a loop of envy and inadequacy. You begin to question your abilities, your timing, your path, and every question whispers the same lie: you are not enough. Comparison doesn't inspire, it drains. It turns potential into paralysis. The truth is, no two lives are meant to unfold the same way. You are a unique combination of circumstances, challenges, and potential. Your growth cannot be compared to another's because your soil is different, your season is different, and your purpose is different. When you compare yourself to others, you violate the sacred truth of individuality. You abandon your lane and lose the rhythm of your own journey. The world has billions of faces, but not a single one mirrors yours exactly, not in thought, not in struggle, not in destiny. To compare your life to someone else's is like comparing the sun to the moon. Both shine, but each in its own time and light. Comparison also breeds resentment, not just toward others, but toward yourself. You begin to despise your own story because it doesn't look like someone else's highlight reel. You overlook your progress because it seems smaller, slower, or less glamorous. But what you forget is that the depth of your struggle often determines the strength of your foundation. The person you envy might be walking a path that would destroy you, just as your path might break them. Life doesn't give identical tests because it's not teaching identical lessons. When you finally understand that, peace replaces envy and focus replaces doubt. Moreover, comparison robs you of gratitude, and gratitude is the root of strength. A grateful mind recognizes how far it has come, how much it has endured, and how much it still holds. Comparison blinds you to those truths. It makes you chase someone else's timeline, ignoring the wisdom of your own. It keeps you running faster, not stronger, louder, not deeper. When you stop comparing, you stop running aimlessly and begin walking purposefully. You start building from what's real, not what's reflected in others. In the end, strength comes from authenticity, and authenticity dies in comparison. Every time you compare, you hand your power to someone else's illusion. But when you focus on your own path, your own growth, your own becoming, you begin to rise, not because you're better than others, but because you're no longer trying to be them. The only competition worth engaging in is with the person you were yesterday. Comparison weakens the spirit. Self-awareness strengthens it. The day you stop comparing is the day you start becoming truly, freely, and powerfully yourself. Struggle is not the mark of failure. It is the signature of individuality. It is the universe's way of signaling that your path is unique, that your life cannot be lived by anyone else. Those who are ordinary encounter predictable obstacles. Those who are extraordinary face storms that test the very core of their being. The weight of your struggle often reveals the magnitude of your potential. When life places you under pressure, it's not punishment, it's recognition. It means you have been chosen to carry something heavy, something meaningful, something rare. The world tests diamonds more harshly than stones because they are meant to shine in ways ordinary matter cannot. Every struggle is a dialogue between your limitations and your possibilities. It's life asking you, how much can you endure before you evolve? Those who mistake struggle for misfortune miss the deeper truth, that adversity is the architect of character. Comfort never forges resilience, ease never sharpens focus. When you struggle, you are being refined, reshaped, and redefined. Your pain is not meaningless, it's an initiation into strength. Each challenge is a mirror reflecting what must grow within you: patience, courage, discipline, or faith. Without struggle, these virtues remain dormant, like seeds waiting for pressure to awaken their potential. It is also through struggle that individuality is revealed. When you suffer, you begin to see who you truly are beneath the masks of convenience. Pain strips away pretense. It exposes the raw structure of your soul, what you value, what you fear, what you are willing to fight for. The struggle you face is not random, it's tailor-made to awaken the specific power within you. No one else could bear your burdens the way you do because they were not designed for anyone else. Your suffering is personal not because the world is unfair, but because your destiny is personal. What breaks others might build you, and that distinction is sacred. To live without struggle is to live without growth. Many people seek comfort thinking it is peace, but comfort without purpose is stagnation. Struggle gives life its edge, its weight, its meaning. It pushes you to question, to adapt, to rise. It reminds you that the higher you aim, the greater the resistance you'll face. That's not cruelty, that's calibration. Life meets you with the exact level of challenge that your growth demands. You do not struggle because you are weak. You struggle because you are strong enough to transform. In the end, struggle becomes the proof that you are becoming something greater than what you were. It's the universe's confirmation that you matter, that your journey has significance. Weak souls seek escape from hardship. Strong souls seek evolution through it. The fire you walk through today will one day become the light that guides others out of darkness. So don't curse your struggles, respect them. They are the markings of distinction, the evidence that you were never meant to live an ordinary life. You were meant to rise through resistance, to stand apart through endurance, and to transform your pain into the power that defines you. The desire to be accepted is one of the most ancient and powerful instincts in human nature. From childhood, we learn to seek approval from parents, teachers, friends, and eventually from society. But somewhere along the way, the hunger for belonging begins to outweigh the need for truth. We start editing ourselves, hiding certain parts, silencing honest thoughts, and reshaping our personalities just to fit in. This slow self-betrayal becomes a habit so subtle we no longer notice it, but the price is enormous. Every time you choose acceptance over authenticity, you trade a piece of your soul for temporary approval. You might gain the world's applause, but you lose the sound of your own voice. Authenticity is not rebellion, it is integrity. It means aligning your outer life with your inner truth. To be authentic is to speak honestly when silence would be safer, to act according to conscience even when it costs you comfort. Most people live two lives, the one they show the world and the one they carry inside. Authenticity ends that war. It reunites the visible and the invisible, allowing peace to replace pretense. It's not about being perfect or loud, it's about being real. When you live authentically, your words carry weight because they emerge from conviction, not performance. The pursuit of acceptance, on the other hand, weakens the spirit. It teaches you to measure your worth by others' reactions, to smile when you're breaking, to conform when you disagree, to shrink when you should stand tall. Acceptance from others is fragile. It changes with their moods and judgments. But authenticity builds unshakable confidence because it's rooted in truth, not popularity. When you stop chasing approval, you free yourself from emotional slavery. You begin to live not as a reflection of others' expectations, but as a revelation of your own purpose. Authenticity demands courage because it often invites rejection. People fear what they cannot categorize, and authenticity defies categorization. You will be misunderstood, doubted, even mocked. But every act of honesty strengthens your foundation. The pain of rejection is temporary, the pain of self-betrayal is permanent. When you choose to stand by your truth, even in isolation, you begin to attract the kind of people, opportunities, and peace that pretense could never deliver. Authenticity filters your environment. It removes the false so that only the real can remain. Ultimately, authenticity is freedom. Acceptance ties your value to the approval of others, but authenticity roots it in your own being. When you live authentically, you become unshakable because your worth is no longer for negotiation. The world doesn't need more imitation. It needs individuals brave enough to be themselves. Acceptance will follow authenticity, but never the other way around. So stop dimming your light to make others comfortable. Speak your truth, live your values, and let your existence be an honest reflection of your soul. Because the moment you choose authenticity over acceptance, you stop surviving and start truly living. Believing in yourself is not an act of arrogance. It is an act of responsibility. The world often confuses humility with self-doubt, but they are not the same. Humility acknowledges the distance one has yet to travel, while self-doubt denies the power to walk. Every person is born with potential, a capacity to create, to endure, to contribute something meaningful to the human story. When you refuse to believe in yourself, you are not just limiting your life. You are withholding what the world might have gained through you. Self-belief, therefore, is not a mere personal preference. It is a moral duty to the gift of existence itself. You are given a mind, a will, and a vision not to question your worth, but to develop it. Most people wait for permission to believe in themselves. They want external proof, validation, recognition, applause, before they allow confidence to rise. But self-belief is not something granted from the outside. It is forged within, often in the silence of doubt and failure. You must decide to trust yourself long before there is evidence that you should, because belief precedes creation. Every inventor, artist, leader, or reformer who changed history first stood alone, sustained only by a conviction that what they carried inside was real, even if the world couldn't see it yet. Without that belief, nothing new would ever be born. To believe in yourself is also an ethical act because it honors truth over fear. Doubt is easy, it costs nothing. Belief, however, demands courage, the courage to face uncertainty and still move forward. When you choose self-belief, you're making a statement to life. I will not waste the strength that has been entrusted to me. You begin to see challenges not as evidence of weakness, but as invitations to grow stronger. This shift in mindset transforms victimhood into responsibility and anxiety into action. You realize that the real failure is not falling short, but refusing to try because you feared you couldn't. Moreover, self-belief guards you against manipulation. A person who does not believe in their own worth becomes dependent on others' opinions for direction. They live reactively, shaped by praise or criticism, never by principle. But a person who knows their value cannot be easily controlled. Their sense of self comes from within, not from applause or approval. This inner independence is the highest form of moral strength. It allows you to act with integrity even when no one watches, to pursue excellence even when no one applauds, and to persist in purpose even when no one believes, because you do. In the end, self-belief is not simply about confidence. It's about responsibility to your potential, your purpose, and your existence. The world needs individuals who trust their inner voice enough to act upon it, who understand that disbelief in oneself is a quiet form of neglect. You owe it to yourself and to life to believe that your existence matters. Every doubt you overcome strengthens not only you but also the world that benefits from your courage. So treat belief as duty, not ego, because to believe in yourself is to honor the life that believes in you.